Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's World. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But let's go ahead and get right into today's episode. Raw kicked off with a video package of Cody Rhodes and John Cena's rivalry. And then it got right to the ring where John Cena's music hit. John Cena made his way down and he cut one great promo, his first heel promo of the new John Cena era that led into Cody Rhodes coming down to the ring. Cody would eventually tell John towards the end that he wants to see the real John Cena show up at WrestleMania and face him. And then he would eventually leave. John, when as he was walking out, the fans would chant, "Hey, hey, hey, goodbye" to him. So the crowd, this crowd, in my opinion, was definitely one of the hottest crowds on the road to WrestleMania thus far. And they definitely let John and Cody know how they felt during this 30-minute promo. But then after this, we got right into the action with Ludwig Kaiser and Penta in a no holds barred match. Penta would eventually pick up the win here with the Penta driver. And after the match, up at the top ramp, Kathy Kelly would interview Penta, and Penta would let the world know that he is going after the IC title next. So that's what's next for Penta. He's still chasing his singles gold. So we'll see when and where his ties with Ray Phoenix will come into play, and what's in store for Ray Phoenix in WWE as Penta still seeks the singles runs here. Then backstage, we have a Judgment Day segment. Dom is trying to tell Finn that he has a new idea for a guy to come into the Judgment Day. And surprise, surprise, Penta, who just declared for saying he wants to be in the IC title picture, who Finn is, of course, going after later tonight. So then Finn, of course, gets upset with Dom and storms off. And then we get right into some more action with Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. Right before the match, it was a little interesting how we see Chad Gable run down for the ringside. However, Dakota Kai would win this match. There was a lot of action going on the outside that would lead to Dakota Kai winning. After all this, we have Bianca EO in the contract signing. After the two women would sign the contract, Rhea Ripley's music would hit. She would come down to the ring. Her and Bianca would get into it. Of course, this would lead to EO trying to come around. Bianca would initially shove EO out the way. This would lead to Rhea headbutting Bianca Belair and and Bianca would land directly onto the table. Rhea would try to power slam EO on Bianca, and in my opinion, the table was supposed to break here, so the two women were supposed to go through the table. Obviously, that did not happen. However, Rhea and Pierce would continue to argue. Rhea would take the contract, sign her name in the contract, and go up the entrance ramp, and them two would argue. So it seems as though unofficially, but possibly officially, we have the triple threat match that everybody's been talking about for WrestleMania, with Rhea Ripley being added. So we'll see what happens here if they will make this official and if and when they will make that official. But then after that, backstage, we have Jey Uso making his way down towards the ring area, but he is cut off by Gunther. He eventually pushes Gunther out the way, and then his music hits. He comes down to the ring. We are set for Jey Uso versus Austin Theory. Jey gets a pretty quick win here. After the match, Waller tries to attack, but Jay's having none of that as he gets the upper hand really quick. However, Gunther again tries to get him in that sleeper behind. We think Jay's about to go to sleep again, but Jay definitely gets a counter this time. Thankfully, he eventually would rip the title off of Gunther, and as Gunther tries to come at him, Jay pulls down the top rope, and Gunther falls out of the ring. This would lead to Jay getting up onto the top turnbuckle and throwing the title over at Gunther. So it's good to see Jay finally getting some shine here and getting the better of Gunther on the road to WrestleMania. So we'll see what's in store for them next week. Hopefully, we get to see Gunther in some action leading into WrestleMania as well, because we do not want to have him stiff and not in ring shape. So hopefully he gets into the ring and gets some action as well. But backstage, we have Rhea again arguing with Adam Pearce. Bianca would come into play and attack Rhea. Then Io comes by, pushes Bianca, attacks Rhea. Bianca comes back, and her and Io get into it, which leads to Rhea pushing both of them and then walking away pretty much. Then back to the ring area, Ray and Dragon Lee are getting ready to face American Made. So the LWO versus American Made. The action just continues here. The winners of this match are the LWO. However, after the match, a masked man Chad Gable, hint, hint, comes and attacks both these guys, gets the upper hand, of course, here um, on both of them. And we are still trying to figure out who this masked man with the American made on is. But in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people's opinions, it's Chad Gable, even though what we saw last week, he definitely had somebody hired under that mask. So we'll continue to see what happens in this storyline. After that, we got a video replay of the steel cage match last week with where Roman Reigns came and interjected himself at the end. And then back to the ring, Seth Rollins' music would hit. He made his way down to the ring, cut a great promo. Backstage, we have AJ Styles and a Braun Breaker segment, followed by our main event. We have Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor for the IC title. This was a great match, great back and forth action between these guys. Dom and Carlito, of course, would make their way down to the ring at some point and try and help Finn, but nonetheless, Braun Breaker would win this match. After the match, Carlito and Dom would try and attack Braun. This would lead to Penta eventually coming out and pretty much helping Braun. Didn't need to really do too much here though. Penta would eventually pick up the title off the ground or off the mat, and he would before he would give it to Braun, and them two would have a nice stare down before Raw ended. And Penta would leave the ring as Raw ended. So it looks as though we're gearing for a Braun and Penta match down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if we get more men involved in that match for WrestleMania, besides this, just those two. But we shall see. You never know. It may just be a singles match. Who knows? But overall, great episode. And if you guys weren't able to catch it yet, make sure you guys get on Netflix and catch that. This Friday, we are gearing up to get a lot of action as well. Roman Reigns returns. CM Punk should be there as well. And Seth Rollins said tonight he'll be there as well. So can't wait to see that. I'm sure Cody Rhodes will be in the house. I'm not sure if Cena's going to be there, but we'll see. He is confirmed for next Monday night. But we'll get into that one later. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all later on this week. Just remember, this is Hefe's World, and you're just living in it.